so we can share this with any of our managers that weren't able to join us tonight or at the next one. So with that being said, I'm going to briefly touch on some of the items that we're going to go over. I guess I'll start with a disclaimer of sorts. Fear not. We've got a lot of the broad strokes hammered down here between Doyle, myself, and Gary. But maybe we'll find a few, potholes in the road tonight or next week. That's okay. We've got time on our side. We've got 6 weeks before the first sectional, and generally speaking, our tournament managers are going to do everything they've always done from their district to BOMS page. This is just going to be an additional responsibility, but we're here to help every step of the way. We're the 15th state to have this relationship with iWannamaker and conduct our regular season and tournament on this platform. I'm confident, having talked with some of my fellow cohorts and other state associations, that there's nothing that we're going to encounter in Ohio that hasn't been encountered in Michigan or Minnesota or Florida or Arizona. There may be some challenges, but I know we'll be able to overcome them. So thank you for making some time here tonight. I'll touch on a few topics that we're going to go over, and then I'll largely turn it over to Doyle to share his screen. But we're going to go over a few things. Creating an account. You're largely going to do this on a computer. So if you're a non-school person, you're not an active coach, you're going to create an account a certain way versus if you're already using the platform as a coach. We're going to talk about the different options you have to score your sectional or district tournament and what those implications are. I guess this is a good time to say we've already created the event for you in this in iWannamaker. So you don't need to do that, and we're going to help you along the way. When we'll show you how to get teams and individuals entered into your tournament. Most of you know who your teams are assigned to your sectional tournament, and some of you will find out for a few more weeks, but that's okay. And then we'll go over, once the event is over, how do you get the info uploaded to BOMS page. So we'll go over those, and we'll hit a couple troubleshooting FAQ type things as well. With that, I'll turn it over to Doyle. Doyle, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, I'll make sure it's kind of spotlighted here, and will be the main. There we go. Everybody should see Doyle's screen. With that, I'll stop talking and let Doyle introduce himself.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. And it's nice to meet all of you that will be running all these postseason tournaments in Ohio. As Tyler said, we've been at this. I am the founder of the company, and have been involved from the ground up since we started this with high schools in 2013 is when the first state championship was run on the system. And now, as Tyler said, there's 15 states, and all those states no one's ever stopped using the system, the platform. They just continue year after year because they see so many benefits to it. So the first thing I'm going to mention is that there's two components. There's the back-end website, which is what you see here, and then the app actually is on this page too. So there is an app in the App Store, and it's called the OHSAA Golf app. That is the app that every coach, athletic director, golfer should be getting in the state of Ohio. Anyone who's connected with high school golf should get the app. It's free, and they'll be able to get into the system with the proper credentials by getting the app. That's where it all starts. For you, if you're not a coach or an athletic director, then you have a little different way to get registered. And then then what I'll do is do something on the back end to get you as what we call a league administrator, the league meaning Ohio. So if you go to iWannamaker.com, so if you're not a coach, not an AD, not associated with, if you're not one of those two, then just go here and just click register. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is if you do that, and all it requires is just an email and a password to get in. And once you get in, you will be able to navigate. Now I've got my default league. Now a league, when I say a league within iWanamaker is a state association. For example, Illinois, Ohio, New York, and that sort of thing. So when you come in here, and you can always go to other leagues. Let's say you come in and you're not on the Ohio league, you would click on leagues, and then you would choose Ohio. And it should be as one of your leagues, because I'm going to add you as a league administrator for that league. Okay. So after you get registered and you need to be put in as a league administrator, just email support@iwanamaker.com. And if you ever need help, this is just click on help. This is how you can quickly get a hold of us. We pick up the phone. You call us, and I guarantee we'll pick up the phone and we'll get right back to you. So support@iwanamaker.com. This is the phone number that you'd call if you need to talk to us. And then so after you get registered, then you just email support, say, I need to be added as a league administrator for the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and then we will take care of that for you. Okay? So after that, and what will happen then is what we'll do is we're going to put you in this list here. Okay? So this is the Ohio League, and these are the league administrators right now at this point in time. So a league administrator has the ability to edit any event in the league, and they can also manage rosters, any roster in the league. So at this point in time, all of the rosters are in the system. I should probably talk about schools first, because the rosters are underneath the schools. So every school has been loaded into the system. And we believe we have all the logos right. If they're not, it's very easy to change. And we've been getting requests from some coaches saying, hey, you do this. They can do it themselves, but if they don't know how, we do it for them. Okay. We did our best to get the school logos right for all of these schools. So underneath each school, and I'll just pick this school here. If you go here, you've got rosters, right? So they don't have any players in their roster yet. The rosters are populated by just telling the golfers to get the app, get the OHSAA golf app. They do that, and then they show up on this roster here, boys or girls. Okay, so each school either has both boys or girls, or one or the other. So now I'm going to navigate back up to the top level. So I navigated into a school to get back up to the top level. I'm just going to click on this one here. Okay, I'm just going to go through a little bit of navigation. Then I'm going to get right into what you guys really care about, and that is editing these events. So another school I'm going to teach you about, which is important to you, is we actually added the OHSAA. I know they're not a school, but because they host tournaments, that's why they're here. And if you go here, this is where you'll find every single section tournament. They've all been loaded. They've all been added. The courses have been added. The courses have been checked. Although there were some courses, there were some clubs or events where I didn't know which, there may have been 3 courses at that event. So a decision is going to be made by you to get that right course selected for them to be able to play on that particular course, because there may have been many choices at that club, and that wasn't given to me. But it's very easy to do, and I'll go through that. So these are all the section tournaments, and as you go down, you'll start to see some district, all the convention. Very important. Tyler picked this convention, this naming convention. It shouldn't be changed. It just, the naming is the way the OHSAA has decided. So please just leave the name the way it is. Okay. And I think you're probably easy to understand what each one is. Here's a district, for example. You know all the information you need to know about the division and then the district there. Okay, so that's that. And then there's a second page. So there's 100 district and section tournaments total together. And if you go to the second page, now you've got your state championships. Everything's created, so no one needs to create any of these events. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and Tyler, maybe you can just tell me which event. I want to go and edit an event now.
Yeah, you want to do the one I said has teams assigned to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It is a D1 boys in the Northeast at Quail Hollow. And I
I'm just gonna
think
search.
George, the
What I'm
tournament
doing is I'm
manager,
just
may be
searching
on with us, actually.
plays D1 at where?
Quail Hollow. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to edit that event. Okay, and now once I'm in the event, I'm going to go through all of this here, but I want to show you one more thing. So I'm going to leave this tab, and I'm going to go to the tab next to it, which is I just have 2 tabs open here. So I wanted to show you, if I go to rosters at the top level, this is I was here a minute ago, but if I was to look at, I can go down here and I can look at any roster. This is one of the things that you're going to want to do, and I can also do it by district too, right? So I can say I'm going to look at the Northeast rosters, right? So this is Northeast right here, and these are all the rosters in that area of the state. Okay, so I can open up any one of these, and I can see which ones have their players loaded or not. Okay, so I just want to show you that's how you get, and you go there by clicking on rosters. Now let's go back to the event. When you actually edit an event, you're just going to walk from left to right. You got your details, and we're going to spend some time here talking about secure scoring, because it is an important decision that you're going to have to make as a manager of this event. And it's related to the secure scoring piece. So I'm just going to walk down obviously, you're not going to change whether it's boys or girls. That's done. We know it's a tournament. We know it's varsity. And then we're going to get to secure scoring. Again, don't change this name up here. Just leave that the way it is. And if you happen to need to change the time, just click here and change the time. In case something happens there. It's very easy to do. So let's get down to the secure scoring piece. So that's the idea here, is that the OHSAA golf app will be the tool where all scores are entered. Okay, and they'll be entered by someone that is allowed to score for the tournament. So each of the tournaments will have secure scoring turned on. Okay, so never turn secure scoring off. You will have an option to say who can do the scoring. Okay, so this is the secret, or the reason many state associations have selected I Want to Maker to partner with, because we allow for secure scoring, and we have many different flavors of it as well, if you will. So the decision that you'll have to make is whether you're going to have golfers and managers do the scoring, only golfers and managers, or if you're going to allow managers, coaches, golfers, or scorers to do the scoring. Okay, and so the difference there between those is if you choose this option here. So obviously, if it's golfers and managers, then anyone under people on this managers list, and this will get populated as we start to add teams to this event. Coaches will get populated automatically, and then the golfers will get populated as we import golfers into this event. And then officials. So watch what happens here. If I turn on managers, coaches, golfers, and scorers, and I go next, and I reload this, you're going to see that under the people step, we're going to have scorers now. So like I said, when a team is imported, and I'll show you in a second here, when we import a team into an event, what happens is all of the coaches for that team, boys or girls, will be added automatically as managers of the event. And then you can remove them if you want. If you don't want to allow someone to be able to edit your event, you just take them off the manager's list. I recommend you leave them on the coaches list, because this is a communication tool. You're going to be able to select all the coaches in your tournament and send a message to them. You basically just click right here, and this works on any one of these tabs, and then send message to selected. So you can use this to email the coaches in your event to let them know about different things that you're going to do as a manager. So that's the managers, coaches. I said the golfers will get populated when you import the golfers onto the teams. And then the scores. So if you choose this model, this way to set it up, then when a parent, a spectator shows up at this event on the app, they're going to see, I want to be a scorer. If they touch that an email will get sent to every one of the people in the manager's list. And in that email, it says, John Doe wants to be a scorer in your event. You're either going to allow or deny. There's a button, allow or deny. If you click allow, John Doe is going to be put in this list, and they will be able to score for any group in the tournament. Okay, that's how it's designed. And so that's the scorer's piece. Again, in this mode where I've got it selected like this, any person that is a registered user in all these lists, okay, the managers, coaches, golfers, or scorers can score for any group, any pairing in the tournament. Okay, so let me go back now. That's that model. I already talked about the golfers and managers, which is limited to only the people on this list and this list. Okay, that would be another way to do secure scoring. Let's make it more secure, and let's try to go down this path of saying that we want to be and comply with the USGA rule book, which means that we need to exchange scorecards. Okay, and many of you probably know this, right? That if you are going to follow the rule book to a T, first thing you do is you read the definition of the scorecard, and the USGA has defined it as a paper document or an electronic, right? It can be paper or electronic, and you got to exchange scorecards, right? You don't keep your own score. You keep score. You're a marker for someone else. And if you choose yes here, that's what will happen. All of the golfers in a pairing will be assigned as markers for another golfer in that pairing. And I will tell you, just to share with you, that's what almost every state does. Now, they've been using it for a while, keep that in mind, but that is what they do. They do the digital exchange of scorecards. Did they do that the very first time out of the gate? Some did, some didn't. It's completely up to you, and Tyler is allowing you to set these settings, these lower settings here, how you want to set them. Okay. The other thing that you have that you can do is you could say no to this, right? And now you're basically any golfer in the group can score for the entire group. And if that golfer's phone dies, another golfer can take over in that group and score. And if that golfer's phone dies, a manager can come and put scores in. So there are ways to deal with phones dying and all that sort of thing. And I'll tell you, Florida uses the scorecard exchange, and they even do the hole-by-hole attest and locking for all 6 of their state championships. They've done it for 3 years. They've had no issues with they just tell, hey, make sure you come. Your phone's got to be charged up. You're going to use it as a scorecard, and you are going to be scoring for someone else as a marker. And it has worked flawlessly in that state and other states as well. So that is the exchange of scorecards, yes or no. If you say no, any golfer or manager can score for the whole group. If you say yes, there will be a marker assigned for every golfer in that group. If you do the hole-by-hole scoring, attest, and locking, that takes it a step further. We added this because coaches in Illinois wanted it. And what that means is that after a marker puts a score in, the golfer themselves gets to say, yes, that is the right score. So if I'm marking for Tyler, and Tyler said he had a 4 in hole number 1, I put a 4 in. Tyler sees, Doyle, your marker put a 4 in for you in hole number 1. Do you agree with that score? And Tyler says, yes, it's locked. No one can change that at that point. In other words, the marker can't go back and change it. Only a manager can change it. Okay, that's what this feature here is. So again, you have the liberty to do this setting, these 3 items here, to do whatever you want to do. Okay, so Tyler, I think I should pause now and let them ask any questions about that, because I want to make sure everyone understands the secure scoring piece. And by the way, I have a document that I'll send you that explains all this as well, that you'll have, that you can read after the fact, after we get done here. So you'll know exactly what your choices are and how to make that choice.
Yeah, you read my mind, Doyle. So really there's 3 options. We will have it set by default to allow for all groups, the managers, coaches, golfers, and scorers. And then as you learn more about this, you can make it more restrictive to that. So if you keep it to that setting, you'll still need to use paper scorecards. If you make it to just the golfer scoring and the secure exchange, you actually don't need scorecards, paper scorecards for your event. So again, optional. We'll leave it the most wide open it can be with the most groups eligible or able to score. If you want to ratchet it down to the point where it's just golfers entering and they do the secure scoring, then you won't need to print scorecards for your event. And again, he's got an exhaustive video tutorial library that we'll share links to, and he'll give you some targeted feedback as well. What questions are out there about options on scoring, if any, at this point? You can either unmute your microphone or you can type into the chat, whatever you'd like.
So what you're saying then is when these 3 or 4 golfers go to that first tee or 10th tee, and we've had them exchange scorecards in the past, and they've completed their round, they've checked in at our scores table to go over their scores hole by hole, and we entered those scores on Baum's page. That's not going to happen. In other words, they're going to be entering scores on a hole by hole basis on their device, and that will be their official score at the conclusion of the round. Is that what I'm hearing, or what?
If you use the certain setting, yes, that's an option. You don't have to do that. You can keep a paper scorecard as the official scorecard if you'd like.
So if we want to continue using the paper scorecard as the official scorecard, and those golfers as a group complete their round, they come to the scores table, and then we will enter those scores once we've confirmed the scores as being accurate by the group. They've signed their scorecard as they've done in the past. Then we, as the managers or the scorer who is a scorer who would be assisting possibly, would then enter them on where are we going to enter them? I've entered them onto Baum's page in the past. I've done live scoring in the past. Gary can attest to that as well. I mean, is that something we'll continue doing or not?
Yeah, you will enter the scores here. And then later in this training, we'll show you how to just export that scoring data and import it into Baum's page app.
Okay, so the Baum's page scenario that we've used before is not going to be used. Am I hearing that correctly then?
Gary, can you help connect the dots here? I mean, they can enter duplicate if they'd like, or I guess, the players are going to be scoring live. So if the players score live and it's all accurate on iWanamaker, you could re-enter it in Baum's page, or you could just use the export, and we'll go over that here in a little bit.
Doyle and I have kind of worked with it a little bit. We're not quite ready with it, but we used it for a Ohio Capital Conference girls tournament that finished on Monday. They scored everything on iWanamaker, and we imported the data after they finished into the Baum's page app and posted the data on Baum's page, as we always do. So we're basically, for this year, we're going to be available to use the same things that you've always done. If you do the live scoring, when they finish, you don't have to type into Baum's page 49, 42, 38, 37 for each kid. It'll be an option to just take the export from the scoreboard, and it'll import directly in. Then just verify places, print the scores, and post. And so we'll have the traditional stuff that you're used to, plus everything's also available on iWanamaker.
Just a quick question again. This is Randy. So if the kids all agree on whatever, but yet there is a mistake, I assume there's some place we can fix that mistake.
Yeah, I'm going to show you that right now.
Okay. Because what happens a lot of times, I've had at the turn, some kids are saying, no, Susie had a 5, but she said she had a 7 or 6 or 4 or whatever. And they're not going to sign a scorecard because there's still controversies about numbers, shots, et cetera, et cetera. So that was my next question, I guess. So go ahead.
So you can see right here, you can pull up by pairing, whatever pairing you want. You can fix these scores. Managers can always override the score. So you just take the score and save it. And that's all we need to do. you have to hold by hole. There's no option to do just in and out, right? Or the out and the in or the total. So there'll be, but the scores will be used by the app no matter what to put the scores in hole by hole. And all you'll have to do is correct if there needs to be a correction, right? At the time where if you're going the paper route to get them fixed via paper. Well, either way, there's always that opportunity is to fix right at the scores table, to fix anything that may be wrong. But we want to make sure that we try and get that taken care of beforehand. Now, also know that on the app, you have access to managers to override scores as well on the app. So if you're out in the course and you help the group, by the way, there's a tool within the app that allows them to ask for a ruling. So let's say there's a group out in hole 7 and they ask for a ruling. A text message and emails are sent to all the managers and the officials to say, we need help on hole number 7 or whatever. And then you go out there and right there and then, if you've helped them resolve their problem, you can make the change. And then you don't have to worry about doing that at the end. So you have the option of doing it at the end or right at the moment that you've resolved the issue with them.
So am I going to do all this work on my phone, or this app I can get on my computer?
You do this on the computer, or you can do it on the phone as well. So you could use the OHSAA golf app on your phone, or you can do it on the computer here. Now, there are some savvy coaches that actually bring up this on their phone because they've got a large format. That's up to you, right? Some people do it on iPad. You just have to have a browser. If you can get to a browser, you can log into iwannamaker.com and you'll have access to all these tools, the event and all the tools that come with it.
But that's a good question, Randy. Generally speaking, if you're doing stuff with settings with your event, you're better off to flip open your laptop or desktop computer just so it's larger. I mean, if you're really good with your smartphone and you want to log into this through a web browser like Doyle said, you can. But if I were changing settings or importing teams or checking scores, I would be doing it from a computer.
Well, sometimes my glasses don't work well on a smartphone.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So any more questions? I was going to take a look at this event and see what they did. So this event right here, they did secure scoring, they did golfers only, and they exchanged scorecards. They did what, the reason this is done is that you can, they follow the USG rulebook, I guess is probably the best way to say this.
I think Tim has a question here, Doyle.
Thanks for noticing me. I'm in Southwest. I'm one of the old guys too, but I'm, way willing to do it. If we don't use paper scorecards, then can they also electronically sign in a test? How does the sign in the test worked out, which finally makes it official? That's one question. And the second one is, what are you going to do, Tyler, at the state tournament? Because wouldn't it be best for me at the sectional to do the same thing that you're going to do at the state?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tim. I'll take that first and I'll kick it back over to Doyle for the X's and O's of how the testing works if you use that setting. I'm torn right now. I guess I kind of have the luxury of time to see how it grows throughout the year. I guess I'm kind of I'd rather be a year late than a year early kind of guy. So I will probably keep scorecards if my feet are held to the fire for the state tournaments, and open that up so that the scorecards will still be the official score, but the kids will be scoring for themselves. But obviously, it's just not the official at that point. So if I had a gun to my head right now, I'd say I'll maintain paper scorecards at state. But we still have a lot of season at this point. So if we see, just about every regular season event is on there, and it gets to the point where they're doing more of this live scoring on their phone than they are paper scorecards, then I guess ultimately I want the kids just to be as comfortable as they can be at any level of our tournament. And so I guess, with this just being week 2 of our regular season, it's kind of tough to see. I've seen pretty exponential growth in the amount of events that are in here on a daily basis. So I'm optimistic that it will gain enough steam, but, I guess ultimately I want the kids just to be as comfortable as they can be at any level of our tournament. And so I guess, with this just being week 2 of our regular season, it's kind of tough to see. I've seen pretty exponential growth in the amount of events that are in here on a daily basis. So I'm optimistic that it will gain enough steam, but it's going to be here next year. It's going to be here the year after. So I guess, again, just to say long-winded, I'm leaning toward paper scorecards at state at this point, but don't hold me to that. I'll make a call in a couple weeks.
Okay, so to answer your first question, this is a random event. You could see that they did the exchange and they signed it. So the test was done by Meadow here. So the way that works is when you're done with the event, your pairing is probably still together. You're walking off that last tee of that last hole, and at that point, you're looking at your scorecard, and all the kids have to do is touch on their name, and they get to their scorecard. Very similar to this, but it's just on the app, and they have an opportunity right at the bottom to touch where it says "touch to sign," touch to attest your scorecard. Okay, Meadow did that. And so then she signed it, and then Adeline happened to be her scorer. All that's documented. The exact time that it was signed is documented, both on the app and here. Okay, so the system is built to be used to be 100% replacement for paper scorecards, as per the USG rulebook, because you can attest hole by hole and you can attest at the end of the score. What the Illinois does is they tell everyone, all the golfers, to report to the scorers table, because you'll have one opportunity before you sign. And then they show up in front of the scorers table and they say, okay, is there any scoring issues whatsoever? They fix those. They say, okay, sign your scorecard. So all the kids touch, sign, and then they're done. Okay? So great question.
That seems sweet. Yeah. But if you've never done it before, like Tyler was saying, it's sort of scary also. So let's see what happens during the season.
I have a question too. There would be a possibility that, at least in my district, there might only be one kid that has a real good smartphone. The battery lasts forever, so one kid could be keeping everybody's score. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is a setting. If we use that setting, you would need to have paper scorecards.
Yeah, I would think so. That's just too much of a issue. No one's really watching, so to speak, in that group.
Yeah, it's either the most secure setting. Again, we'll go over all that and send you the resources. If you go full secure and scorecard exchange, you don't need it. Anything short of that, the different variations short of that, you still need the paper scorecard for official.
Okay, thanks.
So some numbers on that. Illinois, their first year doing it, they had a little more than half of the managers of their sectionals chose to go with the scorecard exchange. Half of them didn't. They all worked out fine. Everything was fine because all the scores were entered live. But some of them were all 100% by the golfers scoring for each other. So that's just some numbers for you with a state that's sitting close to you over there in Ohio on what they do. Okay. So let's move on to the next step, which is the courses step. So on the courses step, your club and course have been loaded. So I recommend, I happen to pick one where there's a couple of choices here, right? This one here, I think there might be a couple of courses at this club. So you're going to have to, and if it's not the right one, you just have to go add Quail Hollow again. And then I'll just do that, right? So if I just go Ohio here, enter, and then if I type in DEV, well, I shouldn't say, I should do Quail. There's Quail Hollow. And now I've got choices. Yeah, so I'm not sure which one they're playing on. So I just picked the first one. So if you have
George
that situation,
is in here. George, do you want to interject the appropriate course?
Yeah, we're playing the Dublin, both Division 1 and Division 2.
So I guessed right.
Thanks, George.
Okay, so that's the course that's in there. If you need to take a look at that course and the tee box that they are playing, you would, come in here and pick and just verify that's right. If it's not, make the change. Okay, or if you're going to modify the scorecard in any way, make the change. Right, you have the ability to change anything here. Okay, and then once you're done, you save and close that. So make sure you pick the right tee. This is just to get the scorecard right. Okay, so then once you're done with that, you move on to the next step. onto the people step. Now this one is, you're not really going to do much here, right? Because really this is going to get populated when you do the team step. Now, I want to add a team here. This is important. How are you need to pull the teams in that are going to play in your tournament. But I want to pick a team that has some players on it so I can show you how the pairings are done and all that sort of thing. So Tyler, can you help me?
Yeah, I can rattle off some schools. I don't know how to check if they've got any rosters going. The first one is Brush.
So Brush, okay. So I'll go down here and I can also sort. I should have probably sorted by Northeast, right?
Yes.
No, okay. So the first thing you want to do is sort by Northeast. Okay. And you can sort by, but I should also do division too. So division, what is this? This is D1. So I'll do D1 Northeast. Okay. So now I can go down here and I can start grabbing Brush.
Chardon.
What else? What's that?
Chardon. Cleveland Heights. Geneva. Harvey. Lakeside. Madison.
That's probably enough. We don't need to so you see how it's done, right? You roll to the bottom and you click import. And what this does, it brings in the team, their name, their logo, the abbreviation, and now all we have to do is add members to that team. Okay, so at this point in time, right, when this tournament comes up, these golfers are going to be on the roster. So all you have to do, or you can tell the coach, because right now, let's go see if so we got lucky. We got some coaches that have been added to these teams. So Lakeside and Hart. So these, see how they were added as managers and coaches, right? So now we've got that done. So now if I go over here to let's just take Brush and see if they've done anything yet. Doesn't look like there's no golfers there. So, but maybe Madison, I think, or Harvey might have some players, because I saw that. Nope, not yet. The coach got there, but no players. I'm just taking, I'd like to find someone who has actually gotten going on this so far. I'm not finding anyone. So maybe Madison. There we go. Oh, that's the new golfer. No. So I really need to add a team here that's got players though, so I can show that. Any idea what school I could pull into this, even though they might not be in this particular section?
Yeah. I'm pulling up the rankings. Pull up, add Jonathan Alder from the Central. They've got 6 scored rounds.
Okay, good. Perfect. So Central. And you said Jonathan?
Jonathan Alder, Alder.
So what's the school? Is it Alder?
Jonathan, you got it. I saw it on there. Jonathan Alder.
I gotta get down to Jonathan. Okay. Okay, right here. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to pull them in because they actually do have players. So I'll import them, and then I'll show you how you can bring players in. So at the bottom here, I would click on Add Golfers, and I would pull, and I can sort on seed. So if you tell them, hey, seed your players before the section, it'll make your life easier. Or if you're going to tell them, go import your players, they're going to know which 6 to pull in. Right here, I'm going to pull these 6 and just import. And then if they're not seeded right, you still have an opportunity to set those seeds right here. Because you can just edit the seeds for these players. But let's just say that 1 through 6 is good to go there. So you just repeat that with all the teams. You pull all the players in, and once you have all the players in to your event, now you can move on to the next step, which is the round step. You have to have 1 round, right? So you'll create a round. And don't create 2 rounds, right? You're just going to need 1. And we warn you, if you try to create a second round, we're going to say, you already have 1. Are you sure you want a second round? So you got to decide shotgun or standard. What do you think most of you guys are doing, standard or shotgun?
Standard, because we don't want to do shotgun.
Standard.
Is what?
Standard, because we're not allowed to do shotguns.
Okay, so we'll do standard. And then we'll start at holding 1. You can start at 1, 10, or alternate 1 and 10. Okay. I'll do alternate 1 and 10, just to kind of show you how that works. Then we're going to do 18 holes. And we're going to pick, I'm going to say you're playing from the blues. We're going to set that as the default tee. And now I can add 10 pairings. And you see what it did? 110, 110, 110, 110, right? So you got 10 pairings done, and it alternated 1 and 10. I could have changed my interval, and that would have fixed it here, right? Okay, so that's done. Now the only thing you have to do at this point, now I know we only have one team in here, but I'm just going to put some kids in here just so you can kind of see how it works. Let's say I'm going to put the 1 and the 2 in this pairing. Now I can sort on any one of these columns. I can sort on team. I can sort on seed, last name, first name. Make it easier to pick your players that you're going to put in these pairings. And all you have to do is click, and add them. If I want to take a player out of this pairing, I take them out and I can put someone else in. And you just repeat that process for each of the pairings until you get the pairings done. Add this. And now that I've got that done, I'm going to click next. And it's saved and it's ready to be scored. So the concept is for you, get these teams in your event, import the players, set the pairings, it's ready to score. I'm going to save and exit. Now, let me show you something else too, because if you do want to use there's other features. You can put event information here. You can put links in here to documents if you want to do that. You got rules that you can put in here. You can print out scorecards. So if I say round 1, I'm going to print out scorecards, and I'm going to do with marker notes at the top, 2 per page. I'm going to generate a PDF, and now I'll be able to open that PDF up on my computer here. It's going to jump over to my downloads. I'll have to reshare my screen here. So let me do this. So I can show you what the scorecard, what it looks like when you actually do that. So I'm going to open up my share tray. Where's my share tray? I don't want to turn. I'm going to have to turn
Stop share,
off.
reshare.
What's that?
I said stop share, reshare.
Where is that?
It would be like an X. And
On the window, or?
Yeah, where you would mute or turn your video off.
Oh, it's right down here. Stop sharing. Okay, there it is. Thanks, Tyler. Okay, now I'm going to share. Well, let me open up that PDF. It's going to download to your computer as a PDF. Okay, good. So it's up here. Now I'm going to share this again. Share. Okay, so I'm going to pick, where's that document? Right here it is. Okay, so now you can see that this is what they look like. Okay, they're going to be branded with the OHSAA logo. It's going to have the player's name, the markers gross can go up here, and then the actual scores are going here. So this is what has been used for many years. It's standard if you really want to go all out the paper route. There's a video that shows how to get stock paper with the tear offs and the whole thing. And you can order that paper and print it out and do that whole thing. So this is what the scorecards look like. I'm going to stop sharing this now and jump back into the presentation here. So I'll close that, and then I'm going to go back to my event. I was on this page here. Okay, there we go. So that's and you can also print out other things here too. So I'll let you play with that as you get closer. It's pretty simple to generate a PDF and print it out. Okay, so the next thing is let's go back out, and now we have a leaderboard. You have the team leaderboard as well as an individual leaderboard. And you saw that in that other event that I had up, right? You saw that we could actually show the individuals or the team leaderboard. And so, like I said, this event is ready to be scored. If I would have turned on, let's say I decide to go the exchange of scorecards route, if I go in right now and set exchange scorecards, it will assign markers in each of the groups automatically. If I turn it off, it'll unassign them. Okay, so you can do that at any time. I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. So again, I think I should stop here because there might be some questions from someone. So I'm going to open it up and answer any questions that you guys might have.
Okay. I'll interject in lieu of a question. I sent you all an email this afternoon. If you have someone that has assisted you with some of the computer responsibilities from Bombs page or other things with the course, we're happy to add those individuals as well, and they can get permissions to help with this. So if you have an able assistant, just shoot those over to me, and we'll get those individuals appropriately added as well.
So here's an event. This is probably, now that you've seen how to do it, this is how it's done in a real event, right? This one here, this Buckeye divisional here. So you can see how the pairings were done, right? This didn't take long. I think the first coach, he got Tyler's announcement, and he had it all set up, and he scored live the next day. I remember I don't know who that guy was, Tyler, but it was pretty impressive that he had it all set up after just learning about us, and he had the kids scoring live the very next day. It was pretty impressive. I've never seen anyone in any state do it that quick before, but he got it done. So that is this. Now so in here, I don't know if he did any information or rules. Oh, he did. So he put some information in here. He even did some rules. Okay, so you can see how that looks. What else can I show you here? Oh, and this is what it's going to look like when you get all your team members on your teams. If the logo is wrong, you can edit it and change it right here, right? Or we can do that for you if you need us to. So. Okay, so that's that. And now we can go look at managers. You can see all the managers here, right, for this event. And then you can see the coaches. I do want to explain, so you probably caught it already. The reason we have the managers and coaches is because we received requests from coaches saying that, hey, I don't want everyone to be the manager, but yeah, I want to be able to communicate with all the coaches, all the coaches in the event. Well, that's why we did this, right? So you can trim down your managers list, right, by just selecting and delete selected and do that, and then be able to come over here and say, okay, I need to message everyone. Come over here, send message to selected, and blast the message out. And you can do pairings. It automatically builds the pairings for you, and just click send. Now they also have access to the pairings on the computer. I showed you, those, and they have access on the app too. So if you want to email them up, you can do that as well. And if you want to print out over here, going down to this area here and print out pairings here, you can do it here too. And then you can pick your style. Okay. So lots of options, very simple to use. And if you get stuck, don't be afraid to call us because we will help you save yourself. We don't want you wasting your time, right? So just give us a call and we'll help you through it.
I have a quick question.
Gary, I'm sorry. We'll go to Randy and then I'll ask my question.
If I have a file, word file of like the rules of the golf course for that day, something every hole I have a rule for it as to how they can handle it. Can that be imported to that part there? Does that be retyping all over again?
What I'd recommend there is just put that up on a share. Everyone knows how to share documents these days. Just put it up on a shared folder somewhere on the web where anyone can get to it, and just put the link in, and you can name it inside, and then people can, on the phone or on the web, they'll have access to it. And you'll be able to even modify that at any time you want because it's a shared link to a document that you manage. So there's no ability to upload it because what would someone do with that on the phone? Would they got to download something, then they got to do something with it? So we recommend just share that document and then put the link in.
Doyle, could he just copy and paste the text if it was a
rules
thing?
Yep, you could do that too.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. You guys can ask questions throughout. My next thought was, okay, the event's over. How do I get it into Bombs page? And I don't know if we're quite ready for that or if we just want to talk generally about how that will go and we can demonstrate that, or we can create a video and demonstrate that at a later time.
I can, but I can show you right now too, because what I did, and I don't know if Gary, do you plan on exporting these here? Are we going to give instructions to the managers to do it and then send you the file? What are your thoughts on that? I don't know what.
We're gonna have them do it. So what we
Okay.
set up today, you know, they can download that file. They'll go to the app and they'll, under the manager side, there's an import data. And it'll import right in, and then they click score and the rest is automatic.
So see what I just did? I just replaced the word, and we'll do a video on this. I replaced the word node with BP-export. Bombs page-export. BP-export. So you replace every event, you go to a leaderboard, they're all the same. You got iwantamaker.com/node/ and then here's the event ID. Double click on node, BP-export, and hit enter. And that is going to kick out a file on my computer. It's an Excel document, and then I'm going to share that now. We do that. So I'll stop sharing this, and then I will share the spreadsheet, and so you can see what it looks like. So that's the team, right? Now I'm going to go over and do the same. I'm going to change to the. I take that back. That's the individual. So if I do this and expand all columns, you can see the individual document that Gary asked for to make it easy for him to import into Bombs page.
And the column at the right, the school ID, is what we'll use to match teams. So this is you know, we use abbreviations like Olin, Liberty, and we abbreviated Olin, Tangi, and Westervilles. But that's Doyle added that, and this is going to work out really well. So the tournament was over. I click import and hit score and post all to Bombs page, and it's done.
Gary, do you want the team exported too, the team one too, or not?
No, we don't need it.
Okay, all right. So just go to the individual gross leaderboard and do what I showed you there. Replace node with BP-export, hit enter, and you'll kick out a file that you just upload to Gary's site. Okay, any questions on that? All right, so I'm going to go back to the stop sharing that spreadsheet, and let me do this. So while we wait for people to have some more questions. So inside of the OHSAA, as Tyler said, as these players, and you're going to notice IWRs. You probably saw it when I was going to do the pairings. So every time an event is run and the round is closed, the rankings are updated. So this is statewide rankings right now of all the teams, all the 53 teams that have used the system. You can flip this over to player. So and you can pick grade. You got all these different ways. You can look at district and this sort of thing. So you can change it, and now you're going to see the individuals ranked throughout the state. And this is available on the computer, on the web, or on the app. And so there are 329 boys ranked across the state right now. And so that's how I just want to kind of show you how this system works, right? That's why we do hole by hole, because we say who's got the most birdies in the state, and you just click on birdies and say Adam Ballas does. He's got 16 in 9 rounds. Okay, so that's why we built this to be able to do this, which means that we have to have accurate hole by hole scores. That I get questions. Hey, can I just put in? No, because then this wouldn't be valid. Okay, so just some things that the system does over and above just running events, right? So again, how do I get back to the tournaments that you guys are going to manage? I can click on events, and I can scroll down to the bottom, and well, this is today. These are all the events for today. Let me do upcoming, and scroll down, and now I can start to get into the sections, right? Now remember, I could do that, or another way to do it, which I think I'd recommend, is just click on schools, and go to the OHSAA because all of these events are oh, and I want to mention something else about that too. So these are all here because every event has the OHSAA as a team. Please leave that there. If you take that out, then this event is not going to show up under the OHSAA. This is becoming an archive for all events over time. Arizona, for example, has 8-year archive. They can go back and look at a state tournament in a matter of minutes to be able to pull up the state championship from 2015. And you'll be able to do the same thing as time goes on. So please leave this in here because this brands and tags this event in the OHSAA archives. Okay, so that I wanted to make sure I mentioned that, and then also, you know, how to navigate 2-year events. Always remember that now I'm at the event. This is the event homepage because I'm looking at this. I see the title. I can always go back up to the OHSAA league by clicking there, and now I'm at the league level.
Okay.
Questions?
Yeah, Bill has his hand up and just unmuted.
I imagine you're going to get to this, but I understand that the players can see each other's score. Can mom and dad see what's going on?
Yes, that's that's the whole reason we did it, because we wanted to let parents be able to see. Yes, when parents get the app, they will be able to follow. They buy a pass, and with that, they're the only ones that have to pay. So free access is obviously you guys, all athletic directors, all coaches, all players, and the media. So the way it all works, the way it gets funded is parents. And that's why it's important to make sure the scores are entered live. That's a super good question because parents really, really love this. I can tell you that because I can tell you that we have sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 26,000 passes, tickets throughout the United States over the last 8 years. And when parents learn that they can follow their loved ones live in golf, they really appreciate that. So that's why I did this. That was the main reason why I built this, because I as a parent really wanted to be able to follow my daughter, but I couldn't go out on the golf course and walk around for 6 hours. So now you've got a product at your fingertips that will allow you to bring all that joy to parents throughout the state of Ohio.
And Bill, to add to that question, it's kind of spotty around the state right now. Central Ohio has really taken to it. So Northwest and Southwest schools have really seen taken to it. But at this point, you know, we're only 7 days into the season, and we've got some schools that have scored 6 events in that time, and they can play around with it. They can create practice rounds to familiarize themselves with it. They've done tryouts, created those events, and scored it that way. So my hope is that as I continue to educate the expectations when it comes to tournament time, that every golfer and team will have had at least a handful of their regular season events. And then hopefully at that point, you know, their parents have followed them, or their fans, or, you know, not just parents, have followed them from the regular season and will continue to do so in the tournament. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, I got a follow-up question then.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are walking along with one of their sons or daughters, and they want to follow the rest of the team. Do they buy a pass apparently? Is that for the sectional? Is that a different pass? Is that part of their admission, or will there be an admission charge and a pass charge? Or
Yeah, great question, Bill. So that is not part of their admission to the event. I realize there's going to be some upset people that have had sectionals and district tournaments at courses that maybe offered Golf Genius and scored, and spectators were able to view that at no cost. But this, I think, is a better tool for the long run that can be used across the state, regardless of a course. having a subscription or not. So the short answer is it's not part of their admission. It's an optional tool, and I feel kind of fills a void that, you know, we didn't have everybody with the opportunity to show live scoring during all of their regular season and tournament rounds. So I feel like this really fills a void. And yeah, there is a cost for this. The parents have all been sent this information when I sent the information to the schools about the cost for a regular season pass and then the cost for a tournament pass. So they should be pretty well versed in that, but that probably just depends on how much their team or school has used it in the regular season.
Okay, on that same venue,
Thank you.
You're welcome, Bill.
I'm sorry, on the
Go
same,
ahead, Randy.
on the same situation, somebody's uncle shows up that hasn't followed all year long to the tournament with them. I assume you're going to give us something that they can purchase online to get that so they can follow, or is there something like that? If the day of the tournament someone shows up and doesn't have this app and they want it,
Oh yeah, they can download this app anytime from a smartphone or tablet with an internet connection. And it doesn't have to be a parent, obviously anybody. You know, if you got a friend in Taiwan, they can download the app and follow their golfer through any events that their coach puts on throughout the regular season, and of course in the tournament run.
and I assume that if some people don't have unlimited data, that's going to run up their data costs potentially.
Yeah, I can't speak to like the pool on the data per se, you know, how much, I don't know. Todd, I see your question in the chat. I'm pulling that up right now. There's a pass for following in the regular season. There's a pass for the tournament, and that's all levels of the tournament, sectional, district, state. And I should also mention, based on Bill's initial question, if they have a pass for regular season or for tournament, it's not just to view their golfer or just their team. They can view all events across the state happening within the regular season or tournament series.
So if you have a pass for the sectional, that's good all the way through the state then?
Yes.
Okay.
Todd, I'm digging up that pricing. I'll drop that in here.
Yeah, do that, and then they can see the pricing for the.
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, tournament pass, is that going to be set by the price set by the state or by the district?
Yeah, this is a set price. I just copy and pasted a link into the chat. If you guys can see that, you'll follow that. That's the document that we sent along with the announcement to the schools, and that outlines the costs for this as they want to follow. So the state for an individual to purchase the state series pass is $20. And but all the information's there. I won't recap it all. But I forget your initial question, Bill. I'm sorry.
I think you've answered.
Okay, so all right. Yeah, so yeah, that's a set price. And it's not gonna vary by site or by tournament. That's a set thing you guys will not have to interact with at all.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. What other questions are out there? I'm sure some people, there's more questions than I can articulate at this time, and that's okay. I guess, you know, the marching orders from here, I guess, would be to get a profile, and that way you guys can start looking at regular season events. You can start clicking around in your tournament and, you know, oh, I'm not sure about this setting. Let me email Tyler and Doyle and get a better understanding. We've got some time on our side, but let's go ahead and get everybody a profile and get familiarized with it from the web, you know, from your computer. And then, you know, the app, if you have a smartphone or a tablet, it's awesome just to flip it open some evening, see what events happened that day, see who's scoring in your area. I mean, I've learned more golfers' names and top kids in the state than I knew last year combined, and, you know, in a weeks of the regular season. So this platform While, change can always be difficult, I think you'll find is pretty intuitive, but really it's going to create a platform of information for our golfers that they really haven't had, unless they happen to play at all courses that had Golf Genius throughout their whole season. They didn't have a way for people to follow them during their rounds. Parents that couldn't get off of work until the last 3 holes, and then they have no idea what they were scoring. And I think it's just going to be a really cool place for information to gather for the golf community that wants to look at this type of stuff. Aside from our tournaments, I think you'll really see the value in it. So Doyle, again, what's their step one to getting their profile?
Well, as you were talking, Tyler, I was thinking, make sure that if you are not a coach or an AD, that the first step is to register at iwantamaker.com and email support saying, please add me as a league administrator. Then go get the app. Because once you're tagged as a league administrator, you're not going to be prompted to buy a pass to say, what school are you with? You're not going to see, hey, because what normal people see if they're not in the system as a league administrator, they see I'm an athletic director, coach, golfer, or spectator or parent. You'll be faced with that if I don't have you added as a league administrator prior to getting the app. So first step, register, email support. As soon as I let you know you're good to go get the app, and now you can start playing. You can do whatever you want to do as a league administrator on the web. You can start checking rosters. You can start, getting your email list together. Say, because it's going to come down to maybe a couple of schools. Say you don't have your roster done. You've got to get your players in, and the easiest way to do that is to tell them to get the app. That is the message. Get the app. It literally, I've heard from coaches that get a roster of 30 kids populated in less than a minute because they're all doing it at the same time. It takes 20 seconds for a kid to get the app and get registered on a roster. That's how simple it is. Okay.
Well, it's 9:10 on a Thursday. I think this is a good stopping point. We're going to be doing another training tomorrow at 8 a.m. If you want to hear it again, you're welcome to join us for that. I have a recording going of this. I'll upload it and share it with everybody so you can go back and say, oh, I saw this and Doyle was talking about it, but I can't remember what it was. And then we'll continue to send you information on the resource library. But I just can't encourage you all enough just to jump on there, create your profile, get signed up, and just start looking at it. It's great. You're going to see the kids in your area, the teams in your area. You're going to see the regular season events. It's awesome to watch it snowball in just a week's time. That being said, I know change is never easy for anybody. I'm sure a lot of you all were probably here the first time we used Bombs Page. And, I used to send this qualifier information to the OHSAA office, and then they kicked it over to the district tournament managers. So, this is just kind of the evolution of the game. And it's not evolution just for evolution's sake. This provides an opportunity for visibility for all of our golfers that I don't really feel we had, corner to corner across the state before this. So that being said, let the questions roll in. This is the time. We've got a month and a half to get it rolling, to fill up the potholes on the road, connect any loose ends and work through it. So no need for fear or panic. We're here to help every step of the way. So with that, I will thank again Doyle and Gary. They've been tremendous just in the last week or 6 days, helping each other learn our tournament structure and how everything will touch each other. We're here to help. So whatever concerns you have, please reach out to me, give me a call, send me an email, tbrooks@ohsaa.org, and look for continued information coming from me. Doyle or Gary, is there anything you want to add in closing?
Not me.
Okay. Gary?
Look forward to meeting all you guys.
No, I think we're okay for now. It covered quite a bit. So
okay.
Thank you, Doyle.
You bet. Thank you too, Gary. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you all for your
Hey,
time
just real
tonight.
quick.
Yeah, Tim.
Thanks. Hey, Doyle, you said to get in as a league administrator, just call you or text. I didn't see any phone numbers anyplace. Did you mean
You
to
can-
call you? Do I email you? How do we contact you?
Email support@iwannamaker.com.
Okay, all right, I got that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good question.
And Wanamaker is like the Wanamaker Cup, 1 N, not 2.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thank you for your time tonight. I look forward to working with you all these next several weeks to make this the best it can be for our golfers. Have a great night.
All right. Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.